Welcome to another SPbN production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Pete by Night Entertainment Network. St. Petersburg by Night is an online World of Darkness role-playing community originated in St. Petersburg, Florida, and now spreading to the world at large. My name is Kent, also known as Misha Kent on all social media, and I will be your storyteller tonight. And it's Sunday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Red Tide Rising, our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition chronicle set in the city of Tampa, Florida, where a young coterie of Anarch kindred, a quickly diminishing coterie of Anarch kindred, attempt to carve out a piece of the city for their very own while combating the threats of the Camarilla and the looming presence of Guru in the area. But before we get to all that, I'd like you to go follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media you see down below. And if you really like what you see, join the Discord community by following that Discord link where you can join over 150 community members who love the world of darkness and love talking about it. So come join us today. And if you really, really, really like what you see, go sign up for the Ko-fi down below to help support this program, this channel, and this community. We offer all kinds of extras, including behind the scenes content like Rosebud Thorns, sneak peeks to early access to artwork and merch discounts and much, much more. So go sign up for the Ko-fi today. Now, of course, it would take a pretty impressive cast of characters to make this story possible. So let's go ahead and introduce those characters now. Players, go ahead and introduce yourselves, if you please.
Howdy, howdy, I'm Ace. Happy Pride Month, everyone, and I'm playing Beau Walker, a Toreador.
And I'm Scott, playing Jeremiah the Malkavian, and if you feel yourself falling into madness, dive. And happy Pride.
I couldn't agree more. Happy Pride, everyone. Let's get everybody caught up as to where we are now as we enter the month of June. Last week, we saw Jeremiah and Beau go to meet with their benefactor, Solomon Creed, to get caught up on all of the affairs that have been happening recently, including, as previously mentioned, that quickly diminishing coterie with the disappearance of August, the still captured Valentina. That leaves just Beau and Jeremiah to fend for themselves. During that conversation, they were graciously given the services of one Doberman, the body man, to Solomon Creed, who would assist the coterie moving forward. The coterie was also made aware of a job opportunity by going to speak with Antonio Giovanni, who had taken care of their last cleanup issue in the form of Jimmy the bartender, who had been splayed out across the bar and the body had been disposed of. So less of a job opportunity and more payback for yet another job done on behalf of the Hecata. After that, we saw Jeremiah and Beau head up north to visit with Skunk once more to talk about hopefully finalizing plans moving forward in bringing down Talia Saphira. However, the situation seems to be more and more complicated as they were made aware that Athame and Talia have a much closer relationship than was previously known, and that could throw some complications in the works. However, plans are being made to potentially lure Talia to the shore side, possibly even using Beau as a honeypot. But nothing's set in stone yet, and nothing's completely finalized. We then saw Beau visited unexpectedly by their twin sister, Bethany, and while it started out as an argument, it ended as anything but, as Beau decided to suddenly embrace their sister without even getting permission or offering their sister the eternal kiss. It just kind of happened, but the circumstances stated that one way or another, Bethany had to die, as the masquerade had been broken and Doberman was there to see it happen. And finally, we saw Jeremiah go toe-to-toe with Vesper for the first time in a long time, and hopefully, in Jeremiah's mind, the last time for a long time, as he squared off with the Tzimisce Elder. And there was a little bit of exchanging of information and a little bit of feeling each other out, but you never get the whole story when it comes to the Elders, let alone a Tzimisce Elder. And what that means moving forward, we'll have to see. Jeremiah let Vesper know about August's disappearance, which prompted Vesper to be very interested in what had happened to his current favorite toy, and the fallout of that is yet to be felt. But let's get our story started this week on the heels of last week, as Jeremiah is once again called to the Waiting Owl for some surprising news. Our first scene begins at the Waiting Owl, the meeting place of the coterie, which previously was diminishing, but now may be beginning to grow, even if not all of the coterie is completely aware of that. Jeremiah, you have been called rather urgently back to the bar again, asking you to meet with Beau as they have some unexpected news for you. Yet again. So as you arrive at the bar, it has been closed for the evening, but you can see several figures moving around inside. And as soon as you enter into the facility, you see Doberman is standing off in one corner, arms crossed, a very, very deep set frown on his face as he stares toward the table where Beau is sat, with another individual, an almost frizzy-haired version of Beau with many striking features. However, this one is very pale, having not learned how to blush yet, and thankfully fed, at least for the time being, having awoken from death the next evening, which is why you've been called here. The scene is yours.
I think
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah will just sort of stand there after having closed the door behind him, moving his eyes between the three figures, not saying anything to start with.
Jeremiah, I know this likely ain't the best scenario after everything that's going on, but I want you to meet my sister. This is Bethany.
Bethany is still very out of it, still very completely spaced as they look over to you. Are you a vampire too?
All right, so the math is adding up here. I don't like what it's adding up to.
Doberman breaks his silence by saying, "You shouldn't. The one of you with mommy issues decided to become a parent."
I wasn't given many options.
You were, you just didn't like them.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. I see. Okay, all right, Beau. This is great. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Tell me a story, Beau.
I was working the bar. Bethany came in mad as a hornet and demanded answers that I couldn't give without lying, and you know I ain't great at that. I tried my best not to break the masquerade, and when I did, Doberman was there and heard, and
Okay.
I didn't want to kill her. Not outright.
Beau, let me get one thing straight. You did kill her.
I know.
Don't dodge it. She's dead. Just because she's walking around doesn't change that.
No. But
And you couldn't have called me. You couldn't have waited to the guy who can rewrite fucking brains to fix the problem for you.
you think Doberman would have given me that time?
I'll look to Doberman.
He shrugs his shoulders. Another possible solution.
This is not the time for this, Beau. This is never really the time for this, Beau. You are barely out of the grave. It's not.
No.
We're not the cam. We don't have rules written in stone tablets, but this is your mess. I don't have time to be a babysitter, Beau. I
No.
just don't.
I made this choice, and I know I've reaped the consequences of it.
Well, this is the kind of mess that spills out regardless of how well you try to contain it. How are you going to keep her fed?
I've got a herd. It's not much, but it's something.
Well, it better be much. You better increase it. It's the goats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, fine. I'll help you buy some more goats, but that is the end of it. Until it is absolutely necessary. We have so much stuff going on, Beau.
You think that I wished this happened right now?
No. I don't think you wished it to happen. But you made it happen.
At this point, Bethany says, Can I just go home? I don't know anything about this. I don't know what's happening, but
How attached to your family are you?
well, there's mama and my brothers, and I live with my uncle.
Because if you go home now for learning how to manage the monster that was put inside of you, I guarantee you they'll be dead in a week at your
Me-
fangs.
Remember what happened to Uncle Henry? I knew how to control the beast mostly then, and it still happened.
But I can't be a vampire. Not right now. I got school, I got work, I got...
Jeremiah will come down and sit at the table. That life's gone.
It's gone, and it's my fault.
What do you mean it's gone?
Even if you can switch all your life to nighttime, because the sun isn't a thing anymore, you will become the number one danger to everyone in that life. If not your own hunger, then others. Anyone who finds out that you're still living that life. Because of why you had to be turned. Well, you didn't had to be turned, but why it was done is because of something called the Masquerade. It's a very simple principle. You don't let people know what you are.
Wait. Are you even sure that I'm a vampire? I don't even remember it happening. I don't...
You are.
I'm going to stand up, go to the bar, and pour a glass of water. I'm going to bring it over and put it next to her. I stop, go over, get a bucket, put it on the table next to the glass of water, and say, "Have a drink."
All right.
Object lesson.
He reaches over with a shaky hand and grabs the water and brings it up to her lips, and as it barely touches her lips, she immediately ends up dropping the glass, which shatters on the tabletop, the water just splashing everywhere before she grabs the bucket and starts violently vomiting into it. What's happening?
And you shall drink only blood and eat only ashes. That last part is poetic.
Oh. She looks with blood starting to well up in the corner of her eyes as she looks over at you, Beau. What did you do?
I didn't want to lose you, and I said too much. I didn't. I'm gonna be honest, Jeremiah. I didn't know you could rewrite memories. I didn't want to ask Solomon and Doberman. It felt like I was in a time crunch, and I made a reckless decision.
I'll say. I'll look to Beau and say, "Should clean this up."
Yeah. Beau will take the bucket, put it away, and start grabbing cleaning equipment to clean up the glass and water.
As you grab a rag and something to scoop the broken glass into, Bethany looks somewhat lost in their expression. You can still see the red rimming their eyes, a single bloody drop starting to fall down, and as they go to wipe it away, they look at their hand completely startled. And then something in their expression dies as the realization does fully hit. And their expression already looks like that of a corpse, again, having not learned anything about blushing, anything about how to look normal. But there's this light that just sort of goes out in their gaze.
There it is.
All right. So what now?
You have a very important choice to make right now, Bethany. You have to choose whether or not this existence is worth it to you. Because every night is going to run the risk that you will become a murderer. That blood will be on your hands. And there's no going back from it.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm about to say something really heavy, so I need you to listen. If you want to avoid that, there's only one way. The sun will destroy you. Fire, if burned long enough. Remove the head from the shoulders. I will take care of it too.
So at this point, we'll turn to Bethany. I didn't give you a choice before. But whatever you choose, I will support you. I won't force your hand.
Her previously deadened gaze softens as she looks over at Beau. I don't want to leave you alone. Not again. I can't imagine how difficult it must have been this whole time being what you are. We'll take care of each other like we always have. Jeremiah, roll me an insight check.
Bring up heightened senses. Two successes.
So this crazy thing happens after a new vampire has been embraced. They are immediately bloodbound to their sire. So it's hard to say whether this is genuine or whether this is the blood bond talking at this point. There is a love for their sire that doesn't go away right away, unless they have been outright abandoned, and even still, it lingers for several months into their unlife until it wears off when the resentment truly takes hold.
Speaking of which, We've never clarified it. Has my bond to Beau faded by this point?
Yeah. It wasn't even a full bond, and it's been about over a month, so yeah.
That's what I figured.
Now, if you get fed from her from them 2 more times in the next year, then we'll be talking. But yeah, for the moment, that initial adoration has gone away.
He'll look to Beau. You know, it's not just the change you've done to her, right?
Beau will look confused for a second, and then will internally wince and kind of look away. Shit. I forgot about that. Damn it.
Forgot about a lot.
I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. It's gonna take some getting used to, but family doesn't give up on family.
Bethany, are you at all angry with your sister or your sibling?
I mean, I don't know why they did it, but if they think it was the only way, if they believed it was for the best, then
Don't you think you should be? They killed you and turned you into a monster.
I mean, she raises her hands and looks at them. I don't feel too different. And I was angry because they had, well, it seemed like they were abandoning the family, but then it started to make sense as to why, and well, first didn't really make any sense, and then when it all happened, I don't know. At least she starts rubbing her head.
An aspect of the blood, our blood, now your blood, is that it can bind people to one another unnaturally. Truth of the matter is, right now you can't be mad at them. And you should keep that in your mind at all times until the bond fades. They have done you a great disservice. I'm telling you this because it's cruel not to. And I believe Beau would eventually have told you, but Beau's earned some time in the penalty box when it comes to responsibility.
At this point, Doberman says, "Not entirely. Solomon's not taking care of this one. You're not taking care of this one. And I'm doing just what I was sent here to do."
That's all you can be reasonably expected to. No, you're right. This is on Beau. But I do have some sense of ethics about this whole thing. So there are things that you deserve to know. That's one of them. The power of the blood bond.
I don't want to die. Not more, I suppose. I don't know what I want to do. I need time to figure it out, I guess.
I'll be with you as little as I'm allowed to, given that I am the one that brought you into this and the one that has to teach you.
It's a lot like having a kid. Can't leave them by themselves for a while. You understand that, right?
Yeah. I remember being, aside from the bond, being attached to Talia's hip.
You gotta be better than our sires, Beau.
I know. I ain't gonna keep my sister under a bond. I ain't
Good.
that cruel.
Get her used to feeding from animals. Teach her control before you even think about taking her hunting. Jeremiah's going to reach into his back pocket and pull out something that has been on his person for a very long time, but he only touches to transfer it to a new pair of pants. He's going to pull out a small silver cross. And just sort of hold it in his hand by the chain. Bethany, do you believe in God?
I don't know anymore.
I don't know either. But I've heard many kindred. That's the word we use for ourselves. Try not to use the V word. But I've heard many kindred who do believe, and many who believe that we are damned. And I don't know the truth of that. But if there's a way to avoid it, if there's a way to save anything like your soul, you got to end it before you become a murderer. I'm not trying to push you towards that, but you need to consider it, and consider it seriously.
I understand. I don't want to leave Beau. They've been alone in this life for so long, and as angry as I was, even if part of it might be the blood, as you say, talking, I have always looked out for them. And why should this change anything? If anything, it's going to make it easier, I guess.
It's never going to make it easier.
Well, at least I'll know the full story.
They have to look out for you now. There's a lot you have to learn.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'll help out what I can, Beau. but we have too much happening. The Masquerade, Beau. You need to learn that lesson, and by learning it, you need to teach her. In her bones, she needs to know it.
I'll teach it to her as it was taught to me.
Better than it was taught to you.
Okay, I'm gonna try, and I won't tell anybody or do anything. And I guess I can figure out what to do about Uncle and school and whatnot. But
Tell them a version of the truth. That you're going with Beau. That you're helping them with their time of troubles. But it means you have to be gone just like they are gone. Phone call. Don't go back.
oh, this is gonna kill Mama.
I don't know about that.
Well, they already got
Real
one
hot.
goodbye.
She was real heartbroken when I had to leave.
If you say it right, she might feel better about it. If you're together, well, then it's less scary than Beau on their own. Gonna have to get used to lying or telling versions of the truth.
All right. I was always the one who had to cover up for us as kids. So it's not that unfamiliar to me.
I look over to Doberman. Does Solomon know yet?
Yes.
I imagine he's thrilled.
As you might expect.
I don't know what else to say, Beau. This was a big fuck up. Hopefully you can learn something from it.
Bethany says, well, I mean, to be fair, I did put it upon them. I asked all kinds of questions and I wouldn't take no for an answer. And I pushed and pushed and pushed. And
It's not your fault. Beau, tell her it's not her fault.
Not your fault, Beth. I should have been better.
all right. I'll try to make sure nobody regrets it.
Too late.
Doberman says, Solomon did say this and wants me to pass it along. You don't leave without her. You go nowhere without her. She's not to be left alone. She's not to be left to her own devices. you are responsible for her. And if you wish to remain in this territory, you will make sure she's on her absolute best behavior and learns everything she needs to learn.
I'll make sure of it. And they'll look to Bethany with a sort of sad smile. Just like when we were kids.
She smiles in response, but it seems very hollow. You don't even need to roll. It just seems like a shadow of a genuine smile. Yeah, just like when we were kids. Responsibility. Boy, oh boy. As if it wasn't enough having to be responsible for oneself in a kindred existence, knowing that every single action is under a microscope, whether it's by your fellow kindred, whether it's by society, the Camarilla, the barons, the elders, or whether it's by the humans. And even more terrifyingly, the Second Inquisition. Because as the modern knights roll on, they become more and more capable of sniffing out kindred. Kindred existence is difficult. And it just got a lot more difficult for Beau and perhaps the coterie as a whole. Because like it or not, you really can't afford to lose another coterie member. Not now. And perhaps for Jeremiah, this is a negative that can be turned into a positive. As gratingly annoying as it's been to get one emergency after another to handle, one piece of bad news after another, and they seem to keep rolling in the more and more you find out. While it's another mouth to feed, it's also potentially another asset, or at the very least, an expendable shield between you and your enemies. Time can move so fast or so slow for kindred. For Jeremiah, it's been moving far too quickly. For Beau, perhaps doubly so. But also in moments like these, minutes feel like hours. And as the conversation comes to a close, Beau, you're likely going to be spending a little bit more time at the bar, since this is where Bethany's probably going to be holed up for a while. And the last thing we'll leave off on is Bethany looking pleadingly to Beau, saying, "I'm hungry." We now transition to our next scene. It's been several days since Bethany was turned at this point, maybe 3 or 4. But for Beau, life or unlife has to move on. And even before Bethany's change, you had a standing appointment with Vesper for some potential alterations you were hoping to have done. The one hitch in this plan is now you have to take Bethany with you because you're not allowed to leave the territory without them, and you're not allowed to leave them to their own devices. On top of that, there's another issue that has sprung up. Bethany can't drink animal blood. And even when they drink human blood, they never seem fully sustained. They're always hungry, always wanting more. And even when you think they've had enough, they still want more. But you've kept her fed as best as you possibly can. You're hoping that maybe it's that newly embraced hunger more than anything else, that early desire before self-control really kicks in. Roll me a intelligence and occult. Zero successes. It's probably that. Just the first few days of being a kindred, learning self-control, which you're helping to teach. Roll me a charisma and persuasion or leadership.
Can I add beauty and awe?
Yes.
Okay. Five successes.
Okay. She's listened when you've told her to stop. And after a little bit of cloying, trying to get more, when you finally stand up to her and say no, she listens. She doesn't protest too hard. I'll say that in the last few days, you've taught her how to blush, especially to go out in public, knowing that you had this appointment, knowing that she would have to go with you. So she doesn't look like the corpse she has for those first couple of days as you arrive outside of the Evanescence Tattoo Parlor in Ybor City. The glowing purple sign illuminating the stairs and sidewalk out front. The appointment was for a weekday night, a Tuesday of all days, to ensure that there would be as little foot traffic in the area as possible. So as you arrive, Bethany looks up at the sign and then looks to you. Is it really time to get a tattoo, Beau?
Is not a tattoo, Bethany. He's able to help with other things.
I thought we couldn't change anything about our bodies. I thought we just turned back every day.
There are those of us that can make those changes permanent. He's one of them.
Oh.
He's also someone not to get on the bad side of, as he is much, much older than us.
How much older?
did some research, and 14th century.
Oh. So this
Yeah.
is more like Dracula and less like Lost Boys.
Yeah, a little bit.
So what do I do? Do I just wait in the car or?
No, come in with me. Just be on your best behavior. I know you will, but just a caution. Extra best behavior, okay?
All right.
And Beau will press their forehead against Bethany's very quick in a reassuring manner that they used to do as kids.
She nods her head. She takes a very unnecessary breath, but it's really hard to kick the habit of breathing for the first little while, even though your body doesn't need it. And until you really forget the habit, she exhales heavily. Okay, I think I'm ready.
All right. You can take hold of my hand if you need to.
All right, I'll remember that.
And Beau will lead the way inside.
As you climb the stairs and open the door, that loud gong ringing out, almost echoing off of the walls. The purple curtain, you see those long, nimble fingers reach around the curtain and slowly draw it open. And as Vesper stands on the other side of the curtain, those multicolored eyes, the heterochromatic eyes staring, they're not staring at you, Beau. They're staring at Bethany. And a smile that seems a little wider than is natural is pressed across Vesper's face. Good evening. What do we have here?
Vesper, this is my sister Bethany. Bethany, this is Vesper.
He almost glides across the tile floor to the counter, pressing his hands on either side of the counter as he leans in and then offers out a long, nimble-fingered hand to Bethany. Enchanté. She nervously reaches out and puts her hand in his, trying to be as respectful as possible, and he lifts her hand to his lips and kisses the top of it before releasing her hand and looking to you for the first time since your arrival. Just sisters?
I am her sire now.
Keeping it in the family, Beau?
No, no, not like that.
You don't have to tell me, but I am curious. What brought about all of this?
It's a long story. Maybe one that's better saved for a time when we don't have an appointment scheduled.
Oh, Beau, for what you're hoping to have done, it's going to take all night. So believe me, we have time.
To make a long and dramatic story short, she hunted me down, wanted answers, and I tried avoiding. I made the choice, and, well, here we are.
Why so nervous? There's no shame in bringing another into our world.
With everything going on, I feel like I've painted a larger target on my back.
On both of your backs. But I'm sure it's fine. Step into my office. And he turns and starts gliding towards the back room. Bethany looks somewhat wide-eyed at you. Are you sure about this?
It's something that I've wanted since we were since we were little. That's why I changed my name.
I support you. You know that.
I know. And Beau will take her hand, this time needing the reassurance, and will follow Vesper back.
As you walk into the back studio of sorts, the private room, Vesper this time doesn't sit in the chair, instead offering it out to you, and hops on the stool on casters and wheels over towards one of the counters off to the side, picks up a clipboard, and then turns back to you. Have a seat.
Beau will nod and take a seat in the chair once again.
Oh, I will get the chair for your sister. He stands up and returns a moment later with a folding chair, which he places at the other side of the room, closer to you, opposite side of him. So, what are we doing for you? Now, be as detailed as possible, because while I could undo whatever gets done, it has a cost associated with it, as all these changes do. And it's not a matter of payment, it's a matter of what your body can take.
Right. I've I've known since I was little. This is something I want. I want to I want to they grip their hands as they now find the words hard to pull forth.
You want to show on the outside what's on the inside.
Yeah.
I understand. Better than you know. So what is on the inside of Beau Jean Walker? Who is Beau Jean Walker?
He looks like me, mostly. Shorter hair, no breasts. What I've always imagined I would look like if I was a guy. If I had been born in the right body, as some people say.
He sets down the clipboard and wheels the stool close to you. He reaches those long fingers up to cup your chin, tilting your head to look him directly in the eye. Show me. And then as he looks in your eyes, you feel a pressure on your mind as if something is trying to peer beyond, looking almost deep into your soul. Do you resist?
No.
So as he does look, go ahead and describe what he sees as you think how you look, how you should look.
The build is much the same. Kind of lean, slightly muscular, flat chest, broader shoulders. Their chin is more square, sporting a slight bit of stubble. Their hair is short on the sides, a little bit longer on top. Same height. And there is, to put it delicately, a bulge in the pants.
You feel that pressure withdraw from your mind as he slowly, so slowly removes his fingers from your jaw, almost tracing them along the edges before pulling away. Full transformation, equipment and all.
Is that possible?
Anything is possible. But it will be very, very painful. Now I could make the process easier for you by putting you into a state of torpor while the change takes effect. Or you could feel it. Every piece of it.
How painful are we talking?
You will need some time to recover, much like plastic surgery. But keep in mind, I am redoing your entire bodily structure.
Right.
I am putting hair where there was not hair. Or at least encouraging it to grow. And I am drawing from inside of you to form something that was never there. Again, all very possible, but very, very invasive.
I'd like to be awake for this.
Very well. I will have to restrain you more for your own safety than mine, for even the slightest interference could be problematic in my art. He then moves towards the restraints and starts buckling in your wrists, then up on your forearms, down on your calf, 2 restraints on your legs, 2 restraints on your arms, and even a restraint around your neck. And something about these restraints, though they look like leather straps, feel like they are squeezing you in place, almost like a vice grip holding you down. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
As he begins his art, he wasn't lying when he said it would be painful. It is agonizing, as he is literally reshaping your entire form. As I said in the previous scene, time can go quickly for Kindred, but in this moment, it feels ever so slow as each second of agonizing pain. You can see his fingers pulling at your skin like clay. And the skin is giving way, but not without protestation. So, this is an appearance change, but any change using vicissitude requires the sacrifice of an attribute dot. A physical attribute dot. So what dot would you like to sacrifice?
Dexterity.
Dexterity. Okay. As the art takes place, as you can feel your muscles changing, warping, shifting, you feel yourself growing a little bit more rigid, a little less nimble in the process. And when you look to your sister for support, at first it's utter shock. But then you see that gaze deaden again, as it's just the most passive look possible being given to you as this transformation takes place. You will take 2 points of aggravated physical damage from the change. It can be healed, as aggravated damage can be, but you can feel it in the rending. Even your bones are being shaped. Your shoulders broadened a little bit more. Your pelvis being re-altered and shaped. When his fingers dig in to get to the bones, it's like his hand goes into your body through the skin. After several agonizing hours, the majority of the evening, it is maybe an hour before dawn when he finally pulls his fingers away. And while you can still feel that sore pain from the work having been done, he rolls over to the counter, grabbing a hand mirror, and then slides back over in front of you and holds it up. Your hair, which was in a long braid down your shoulder, has now been pulled up into kind of a messy, but still very good looking prop around your head. You can see the formations of a light stubble that could be shaved nightly, but will likely grow back every time that you do. He unstraps your hands and you reach to your chest and you can feel that it is muscular, but flat and smooth. Shapely going down to those wider hips that you still wished to keep. And then you feel the foreign presence of it all. You feel hair along your arms. You feel hair along your legs. It's as described. As you saw in your own mind, as you look to a full-length mirror on the wall, almost a picture-perfect replica of your inner mind. Beau, you may turn beauty to stunning as the merit increases. Is this who you are?
Yeah. Me.
I aim to please. Speaking of which, we didn't talk about pay. You then see his eyes look to Bethany. I could take this one. That would be payment enough for a new body. Bethany looks wide-eyed at you.
I can't give up my sister. I can bring someone else. Just please not my sister.
All right. If not your sister, then another. But time is of the essence, Beau Gene Walker. Because I am growing very, very hungry.
I understand.
Such work costs a lot for both of us. I will give you one cycle of the moon. That should be more than enough time. But if you don't meet that deadline, I will not only undo what I've done, I'll do much more.
I understand.
Good.
My only other question is, Kindred, wanting to double check.
Yes.
All right.
As you move to stand up from the chair, it's almost like a newborn horse. You feel like you are having a hard time getting your footing and you almost start to fall, but Bethany's there to catch you and prop you up. It takes a few steps with her support to get moving again. Again, that loss of dexterity kicking in as you find it a little bit harder to move at first. The pain of the transformation still aching upon you with each movement, but you'll get there. Do you wish to try and heal any of the aggravated damage now?
I will attempt to heal at least one aggravated.
Okay, go ahead and make the 2 rouse checks.
Hunger increased by 2.
What's your hunger at now?
I think it's at a 3.
3? Okay. You feel your muscles mend, many of them having been literally split apart or stretched. You feel a little bit more confident in your own ability to walk, and you release your hold on Bethany, who still lingers close by. And you exit the tattoo parlor, beginning the descent down the stairs. Feel your steps are a little bit more confident, a little bit heavier. As if you're not tiptoeing through space, trying to make as little impact as possible. No, now you are claiming space. Because you are what you've always imagined to be. You are Eugene Walker. Not just in name, but now also in flesh. It's enough to make you so lively that all you can think about is that growing hunger inside of you. But also how much more comfortable you will be feeding. That you completely, for a moment, forget what it's going to cost you for such a transformation. Responsibility is not just to ourselves, but to others. And to our ethics. Because while this coterie has vowed not to be a monster, what you're going to have to do for this newfound confidence is something truly monstrous. This is where we go to break. We'll be back in a few minutes with the second half of tonight's story. back. As we return, we find ourselves outside of a up-and-coming nightclub on the north end of Clearwater, just south of Pasco County, right where that border hits. The building, a tall 3-story brick building that seems like it's purposefully built to look slightly run down. A big sign out front saying the new asylum, with many posters for various bands all over the exterior and interior of the building. There is a line out front and a bouncer standing by the door, but as you approach, Jeremiah, they unhook the cable that's held between the bars and allow you access straight in. You can hear the heavy electronica beats pounding through the speakers. You can see the crowd of people all around, dancing and swaying, dressed in a lot of blacks and a lot of vinyl, feeling very goth EDM night. There's a bartender behind the bar, a very unfortunate looking man who is horrifying to look upon, but seemingly mortal, probably a ghoul. As you ask at the bar where to go, he points you to an elevator that is behind these staircases that go up to a balcony on the second floor. The elevator clearly used for access to the second and third floor. As you enter into the elevator, pressing the button for the third floor, the doors close and that pounding electronica beat is replaced with a Muzak version of The Girl from Ipanema as you start the slow, shuddering elevator ride up to the third floor. So as you are riding the elevator, what's going through Jeremiah's mind?
First thing is he's going to look for the inspection date on this elevator as it rumbles up, and then sees it and then tries to put it out of his head. And he snaps back to what he was thinking, which is clanmate. Have to access that part of himself that he tries to not so much suppress, but channel and focus. Get into that kind of low-grade communal headspace that is helpful when dealing with ones who are of the blood of Malkav. He's not exactly sure what to expect, but with the Moon Clan, you have to expect the unexpected.
As the elevator reaches the top floor and the doors slowly open, you see a massive expanse of a room. It looks like approximately the same size as the room downstairs, except it's windowless, or at least the windows have been covered. And it looks like it's not bearing so many of the furnishings as the downstairs area, much more open space. Off to one side, you see a massive bank of monitors that seem to be showing everything from traffic footage to a police kind of radio responder and much, much more splayed out across all of these screens, which seem to take up a majority of the space between the floor, the desk, and the wall off to that side. And then further across in the other side of the room, you see a workshop table with what looks to be like a cage backdrop where several tools are hung up along the workbench. And then on one wall, you see black scorches all across the brickwork and floor with the outline of what looks to be a person holding their hands up as if trying to avoid whatever's coming, but being unable to do so. And you see an ever-growing pile of ash on the floor at the base of that scorched wall. Nearby that scorch, you see what was likely the source of the scorching, as you see a backpack flamethrower is set on the ground near the workbench. And then you see a man who's probably almost 7 feet tall, hunched over a workbench, his hair wild and blonde, kind of unkempt upon his head. He wears what looks to be a motorcycle vest filled with patches all over it. Of some of them seem comical, like Dillygaff, which stands for "Do I look like I give a fuck?" And as well as "If you see this, the bitch fell off." He's got fingerless gloves on his hand, a really loose fitting t-shirt of a melting smiley face on the front, ripped up jeans that have a variety of patches on them, and wheelie shoes that have wheels in the heels. So heelies, I believe is what they're called. And you can see him pounding a mallet against something. You can hear the metallic rattling as he continues to pound this mallet down upon it. But then after a couple of more hits, he stops, stands up straight, and turns to face you. And you see another like ragged beard, same blonde hair, framing his mouth. And he bursts into a wide smile, goggles upon his face, covering his eyes. "Hello, friend."
Cousin.
Starts tapping his lower lip with his fingers. "Jacob, John, Joseph, Jeremiah, that's the one. Hi."
Hi, Al, I'm told.
"That's me. Welcome to my humble establishment."
I've been in, I think, 2 other asylums in my years, but this is one hell of a club you have here.
Oh, you've been to the LA one?
No, I haven't gotten that far east. And Richmond.
Well, it is an ever-growing brand, like a fungus or herpes, if not tended to appropriately.
I am ever so happy that I don't ever have to deal with that sort of thing again. Well,
yeah, never again. Anyway, what can I do for you?
oh well, a few things actually. First of all, I wanted just to get on a face-to-face basis. We're neighbors of a sort. Now I may have gotten this wrong, but I heard that you're one of those rare individuals who've achieved some sort of neutrality in the sects, right?
Autarkis, yes.
Interesting word, that.
Well, there's no real like go-between all of the little clubhouses. You know, you got the Sabbat, you got the Black Hand, you got the Camarilla, you got the Inner Circle, you got the Anarchs, the old Anarchs, the new Anarchs. Who can really keep track anymore? I like to sit right in the center, like a nucleus.
That's one way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of pats the symbol on his lapel, says, "I've thrown my lot in with the movement, but to each his own."
There there are worse places to be. I just found that my philosophies tend to not align with any of them.
I see. Well, I always like to think that if you're not with the tower and you're not with the hand, there's no reasons we can't be friends.
I agree. Besides, I prefer red hands to black.
Yeah, there's a lot of baggage with that. Franz Ferdinand and the like.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we begin, I have some very, very crucial questions for you, just to kind of like feel you out, suss you out. What is your favorite dinosaur?
That's a good one. Stegosaurus. It's not aggressive. It doesn't kill to eat, but it will fuck you up if you fuck with them.
Okay. What kind of bagel are you?
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
That's a sandwich. What kind
Yeah,
of
but you can
bagel would
make
that
it
be
big.
on?
Oh, sesame seed.
Okay. Good thing you didn't say everything bagel, or I would have had to kill you. All right.
Commit. You got to commit to something.
I agree. People who say everything bagels are people who are non-committal and think they're so fucking clever by saying, like, I'm a mixture of everything. Aren't I so diverse and interesting? You're not.
No, you gotta plant your flag. You gotta be something.
Yes. You get it. You get it. Mhm. Okay. What was your high school mascot?
The Wolverine.
Scrappy.
Yeah, we didn't even have a football team when I was there, but did pretty good in soccer.
I once heard one that was a rainbow zebra. Fascinating, that. Anyway. Okay. You've passed. So, aside from a good old family reunion of sorts or gathering, I take it you are here on political business.
Yes. I want to extend the movement's good graces. We're, as always, trying to change things around here. And wanted to let you know, like I said, we can be friends. We can be an asset to you if you ever find need of anything. Of course, won't ask any political commitments. That's not your style. But
Well, I do love asses.
they can be a source of comfort in these trying nights.
Okay. Well, I must forewarn you. There was... Well, story time. The original owner of this club was a baron who thought themselves to be king shit of shits. And then he decided he did not like me and decided to try and sully my name. He's dead now. So, I am on the fence when it comes to anarchs right now. So tell me, what makes you different?
Well, I'm no baron.
Yet.
Maybe one night. And you know, and while we're on the subject, why the fuck? I mean, I'm telling tales out of school here. I'm speaking secrets. Why the fuck do we use a feudal term? I don't get it.
Vampires. They're old.
Yeah, but the movement doesn't have to cling to that. I've heard there's forward-thinking anarchs who use the term advocate, and I think I'm going to be pushing that one the next time we have a business meeting or whatever we want to call it. But anyway.
See, I come from the czar side of the world, so Prince, Baron, all of that sounds too European for me personally.
Yeah, I don't like it either. But anyway.
What would you call it?
Advocate. I would say advocate. That's a term that I've heard going around, and I think I'm going to try and make that happen in Tampa.
Do you like advocating for others?
Yeah, I do. I like putting people together. I like solving people's problems when the solutions and the problems can either cancel each other out or get us better than we were. I'm a big fan of cooperation.
Okay. What if they don't advocate for you? What if it's sort of like a one-sided relationship? That's toxic.
I agree. And if you don't want to play ball, if you don't want to play the mutualist game, well, there's only so many times I'll stick my neck out for someone like that.
I haven't decided yet. Oh, you mean the Imperial you. Got it. Got it.
Not you. You're comfortable where you are.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that we can't, do a little bit of mutual aid.
No. I have worked with all walks of life. Cam, Anarch, even a little bit of Sabat here and there. Back in the day when that was a thing. It's the best way to, not make any enemies, but also not have many friends.
Well, we're never quite alone, are we?
Never. Especially us.
Yes, that's what I was implying. Am I right? The original, not here original, but LA original, started by one of ours, right?
Mm-hmm. Jeanette and Therese.
I wouldn't mind meeting either of them, or both of them, one of these nights. I hear they keep shit in check.
Well, hang on a second. He walks over and grabs a remote off of the desk near the monitors and clicks a button. And you hear the sound of like a FaceTime telephone call being made. And then you hear the telephone pick up and you hear a completely clashing pounding of basses and a flashing of lights as you see a pigtailed, blonde-haired woman waving around a phone who says, "Al, honey, what do you want?" Oh, this isn't for me. This is for Jeremy. And he points over to you.
Jeremiah, I wasn't expecting. It was an offhanded comment, ma'am, but I am damn pleased to meet you. Well,
Well, you should be. I am a pleasure to be had. So, Jeremiah, was it?
Yes, Jeremiah Lockwood.
Well, Jeremiah Lockwood, what can I do to you?
If I could blush, I would.
Only where it counts. But that takes just the amount of effort, doesn't it?
Does indeed, but you'd be worth it, I think.
That's what they say.
I was telling Al here that I had heard great things about your work in LA.
Ugh. Most of it's my bitch sister, but yes, I put in some work of my own. Although we're in Vegas now.
Vegas. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't gotten that far out west yet.
LA was getting a little political for my liking, and I just like a good party. My sister loved it, but I hate everything she loves.
Siblings, I understand, are a special burden.
I hope you never have the misfortune of meeting her. Dresses like a Ventru, acts like a bitch, you know.
Well, there's no accounting for taste, I suppose.
No, there's not. Unless you like to taste the rainbow. Anyway, what is your deal?
Oh well, I'm a proud member of the movement here in Florida.
Ooh.
Trying to get things a little less ivory.
Gotta be honest, the last time I saw the movement in Florida, it was, well, in Al's neck of the woods, looking a little, pathetic? Is that still the case, or are you making it something to write home about?
You've got 2.5 baronies running. Different places in the city.
Oh boy, that's a loss. There was 3 before.
Well, it's in Tampa, not St. Pete, but...
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, things are, ups and downs, rocky hills here and there, but we're keeping it together, keeping the cam on their toes.
Keeping their toes curled.
I don't sleep with rats, but if they want to can't come over, then, that can be a signing bonus.
I suppose. I just always have found that if you keep your lips tight, you can loosen others.
That is fantastic advice.
Well, Jeremiah, it has been a distinct pleasure meeting you. Is there anything you'd like to know?
Have you... you were... LA was the seat of the new revolution.
Yes.
I suppose if there's any kind of story or advice you can give me, any fun times with Salvador or McNeil, Knights I've heard good things about.
Well, I would say the one who lights the match often gets got. So be careful if you're the one caught holding the flame, because it burns out oh too quickly. Let's just say we miss Jeremy.
Yeah. I've found myself more interested in building up than burning down. Do what you gotta do, but...
Oh, certain, but to build, you have to make space. And it's not as simple as spreading your legs, I've found. So if you are going to burn down to build up, just make sure someone else is responsible. Or else you won't get much time to build. And have a plan, for Kane's sake.
I keep saying that myself.
Also, politics are boring, so if there are going to be other barons around, the less the better when it comes to the meetings. Otherwise, you might as well be the tower.
True enough. Don't want to clog the bar, as it were.
It's just so boring. Therese loves the meetings, but...
Well, aren't you glad you have her to take care of all that boring shit, then?
Am I ever? I guess. Well, my advice to you stands. Just... You can't save everyone. So the ones you do save, make sure they're worth the effort.
Think I'm learning that lesson all too well myself.
We all do. It's a tough lesson to learn. Well, is there anything else?
I mean, as you travel this wide world and plant your flowers here and there, have a good word for those of us doing the hard work in Tampa.
I most certainly will try to. I don't get out of Vegas as much as I like anymore, but if I do find myself getting around, I'll be sure to put your efforts to good work. Al, honey. Al pops up and walks over to the screen. Yes. Could you pick up the phone, please? Uh-huh. He reaches down and grabs a phone, which seems to be one of many, off of the desktop, and picks it up. And as he does so, he raises it to his ear, and Jeanette's image disappears off the screen. Uh-huh. Okay. No? Yes? Okay. Got it. Then he hangs up the phone and puts it back down on the counter. She must like you.
I count that as a high accomplishment.
Do you?
I mean, Therese Vorman is infamous.
True, but
Well,
there are some who see the web for what it is, and there are others who think it's something to be dusted away. Which one are you?
I will admit it is sometimes more a burden than a benefit, but I'm trying to appreciate it better.
Instead of hiding what we are, sometimes the best thing to do is to use it to hide other things. Keep them guessing. Keep them off balance. Sure, I'm sure there's subtle ways to do it. You seem like the subtle ways type of person, but sometimes you need a flamethrower instead of a match.
It is best to use the right tool for the job.
Well, you know what they say, don't be a tool, stay in school. Okay, so she likes you just fine, so I guess I do have to let you leave. But what do you need?
Well, other than the glad handing and the like, there was actually something specific that I'd like your assistance with.
Okay.
We've got a little party happening pretty soon over Davis Island waves.
And
And
I take it it's a private party.
well, yeah, we want to keep it private.
Well, now you're
So-
talking my language.
Kind of party where the guest of honor doesn't make it through the night.
Oh.
And a little bird told me that you had some tricks up your sleeves for keeping the electric eye from seeing it all.
Oh, yes, I've turned off many a light in my day. You know what I love about technology? The much more convenient it gets, that convenience extends beyond those who purchase it. They think they're making things safer. They think they're making things more secure, but their desire to do outweighs their desire to protect. I just love it. Okay.
Do you know my sire, Devnal? You sound a lot like him.
Yes. Yes. I do remember Devnal, and we had a couple of run-ins here and there, surfing, the way we do. But I respect him. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders for the time being. And let's just say I picked up a thing or two from him.
Well, I picked up a whole new life from him.
Yeah, so tell me, how do you feel about that? And he actually sits down in his desk chair and grabs a notepad and a pen and crosses his legs.
An analyst too. I feel like if I let myself get torn up about the fact that my old life is gone, then I will just sit in the dark, wallowing and weeping and not getting shit done. And I really like getting shit done.
I can tell that about you. Very, very productive individual you are. Just don't make the mistake I've seen other barons make of trying to force too much change too quickly. Because as brittle as the cam has become, they don't take kindly to someone else playing with their toys. And if you make enough noise, they'll know you're in the toy box.
Fair enough. But sometimes they go too far, and a lesson needs to be taught.
Oh, I completely agree. I had a little fun with them a couple of years back, and they haven't been able to do anything to me for it. It's nice when you see their traditions for what they are. There is so much room to maneuver in there.
So you can help me out with turning the lights off on David Island?
Yes, I can help you out. But I'm going to need something in exchange.
Of course, like I said, mutual aid.
I don't know what it is yet, but I will let you know when I do.
All right. Well.
Oh, also, I have a prescription for you. But he starts jotting down on the notepad. And then he rips off a piece of paper and holds it out to you. What it says on the paper is, you can't take it with you, even though others may try.
can get this filled at like Walgreens, CVS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much anywhere. They know what you're looking for. Yep.
Good times.
Okay, well, feel free to visit anytime. My club is open to all, and is what they call neutral territory, as long as it is not disturbed. And, you know, got any friends, bring them by. Love to meet them.
Absolutely. Wouldn't think of disturbing this temple of excitement.
Wonderful. Well, if there's nothing else.
You seem to have a lot of work to do, and, well, I hate to get in the way of someone doing good work.
Yes. He grabs one of the phones and then types in it several times and then swipes, and all of a sudden you hear your phone chime. You just go ahead and call that number when you need the lights to go out on Davis Island.
Love it. Great. We're settling the dates soon, so you'll know when I know.
Well, tick-tock or else the garden overgrows.
Yeah. Gotta pluck them roses.
Mm-hmm. Pluck, that's the term I'd use. Anyway, bye!
Goodbye now. Pleasure making your acquaintance.
As you head to the elevator and step in, you hear the sound of the mallet pounding against something metal once again. What is Jeremiah thinking after this encounter with a cousin?
It's of the better encounters he's had. He's more than forgiving about eccentricities. He can respect the neutral position. Isn't surprised that the price is to be deferred and defined at a later date. That does seem to be the preferred option. He does it when he can. And the fact that he got FaceTime with Jeanette Vorman, not something he was expecting, but was on a bucket list. That's someone he respects a great deal and is also quite terrified of.
Well, if there's one thing to be said for Malkavians, it's always expect the unexpected, for better or for worse. Debts, however, while freely exchanged in kindred society, are often feared in anarch society for a good reason. But that reason will have to be revealed at a later date. We now transition to our final scene of the evening. Our final scene takes us to the exterior of a funeral home. It is a rather quaint building with a very archaic facade, lanterns that seem like they're lit by candlelight, even though it's truly just tricks of electricity that give those lanterns a dull glow. The funeral home is called Peaceful Shores, and it is quiet as the grave at the exterior of the building as both of you pull up in separate vehicles. Now, I will say, this is the first time Jeremiah is going to be seeing Beau since the transformation. So as you look to what is clearly Beau's vehicle, you don't see Beau, at least as you know them, but you do see Bethany sitting next to this stranger in the driver's seat. They open the doors, step out into the parking lot. And as you look at Beau, there are some similarities, enough for you to get the idea of who this is. But boy, have they changed dramatically when it comes to physical form. The scene is yours.
Beau will walk over and give a nod of greeting. Jeremiah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see you've had some work done.
It's something that's been on my bucket list for years. And potentially gives us a way to get rid of Talia.
If that works out, then I suppose it'd be worth it. I'm sorry, it's a little shocking. Be going with he from now on, I'm assuming?
He or they,
Okay.
either.
Forgive me if I stumble. It's big
I
change,
understand.
and I think I can puzzle out how you have made it happen.
Yeah, it's not that hard to puzzle out.
No, it isn't. I hope you know what you're doing.
I do.
Bethany has a very somewhat haunted, checked out expression on their face as you are noticing the changes, but they quickly shake it off. Hi, Jeremiah.
Bethany?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. Vesper didn't get his claws in you now, did they?
No.
Oh, no. We were there for Beau.
Keep it that way.
He tried to take her, and I wouldn't let him.
I'm not going to belabor it. You're dealing with a dragon in all the sense of the words. I think it's dumb. I'm happy that you've gotten what you wanted out of it. And I know that there's going to be a price for it.
The price is a kindred, and I was given one cycle of the moon.
It's a fucking month, goddamn elders. Regardless. Don't pile up too much debt.
I won't.
Remember August. Remember Val. He's the one that sent them off to the woods.
He what? Why?
There's something out there that he wants. So send a few fledglings, ghoul, thin blood, expendable tools to probe the defenses.
So are doing jobs for other kindred bad?
No.
Not always.
Okay.
You just have to keep an eye on the ledger.
'Cause-
It's not bad to owe. In fact, it's good to have a little bit of debt. But you want to have some favors of your own to call on.
So, what kind of debt is the good kind of debt?
Something you can handle with your available resources. Something that hopefully doesn't cost you any bits of your soul. And it's always better to be owed more than you owe.
So why are we here? Says looking over to the funeral home.
Because your new grandma is a fucking bitch, that's why.
The succubus killed someone in our bar, and these people helped to get rid of the body, and in turn we owe them a job.
Okay. I think I understand.
To be applied to the ledger when the account comes due.
Got it.
These are some scary motherfuckers, or at least I'm told.
More than the last one?
Maybe not, but
Because they were pretty scary. I mean, they
yeah,
did things you can't unsee.
I recommend watching and learning and keep your mouth closed unless you have to say something.
Beau's been showing me saying to be respectful and to say as little as possible, especially right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
But-
I can do that.
Take the opportunity to learn as much as you can. Be observant.
Okay. After this, can we go eat?
Yeah, we can go eat after this.
Okay.
Keep it in check.
I have been.
So, as you approach the heavy wooden doors with the large iron handles to the funeral parlor, what do you do?
Bring out the tie. Brush the shirt down. Look for if there's a bell or a knocker.
You do see a little doorbell. It seems off to one side for after hours. As you press the doorbell, there's a slight chime inside. And after a few moments, you hear the lock to the door disengage and the door push open. And standing there is an older man, very thin, almost gaunt, protruding cheekbones, a sallow face, thinning hair atop his head. He looks like he's possibly 50, maybe, but extremely pale. And this is after he's blushed. Give me a wits and let's go with awareness, both of you.
Three successes.
Okay. Jeremiah, as you're looking at him, you can see that his eyes, despite the rest of his appearance, are sharp, not dull, and he's looking with intense interest, but also maybe a little bit of urgency at the two of you as he says, "Please come in." As you walk in, you're in a exquisitely decorated foyer. Everything is in its place. As he walks you down a hallway, you pass several rooms that are clearly used for funerals, and even a room where they meet to make preparations for the bereaved or to prepare for the inevitable that seems to face most mortals. But he takes you into an office. The office is very precisely put together. You see two desks side by side. You see folders and binders neatly placed upon a shelf and filing cabinets in the back of the room. He sits down upon the office chair and steeples his fingers in front of him as he gestures to a couple of very nice, ornate wooden chairs with padding on the seat across from him. "Please sit. You are here for Mr. Creed."
Yes. I want to extend my appreciation for services rendered. It's a service that you hope not to need, but when you do, it's very glad that it's there. And we understand that the piper must be paid.
We live to serve and aim to please. But yes, I do have a task, and I am in need of your services to accomplish it. I won't make any illusions as to believe that you don't know about my clan and our predilections.
I have heard whispers, rumors. I'm satisfied to essentially chalk it up to your business.
Well, that business has been disturbed recently. For the past several decades, I have had an arrangement with the restless dead of Tampa. More specifically, of some of the old immigrant cemeteries from when the area was first settled. Unfortunately, something changed recently. The inhabitants of that cemetery have gone missing. And the ceremonies I perform have been failing, unlike ever before. Those who once spoke to me, whispering their stories and their secrets, now scream warnings of a entity known only as the Ferryman in White. I cannot address this openly myself, it would draw a great deal of attention from the local Camarilla, and it would prompt those within my family to ask questions that I don't wish to be asked. So, I need you to find out who or what is interfering with my dead, and bring me whatever is responsible, dead or alive, preferably alive, or as alive as it can be, but dead if necessary.
I have some experience with, I believe it is known as Oblivion.
He nods his head.
Not firsthand, but I've seen it at play. Do you think it may be involved with... Well, does the name Hush mean anything to you?
You see him straighten up a little bit more at the name. If they were involved, I would be able to detect their involvement. Rather than a touch of oblivion, all I feel is a nothingness, unlike oblivion. A vacancy.
Could possibly be a Lasombra. I may have come in contact with one of their shadows, and that's the feeling that I got when I touched it.
This is different. The experience you are describing is oblivion. This is an absence of oblivion. Frankly put, the restless are missing, but not through the traditional means.
Well, I must admit, this is not exactly within our wheelhouse. But we will certainly look into it, do what we can. We may have questions to help us facilitate your need.
I will be happy to answer such questions, and if this problem is dealt with effectively and with as little noise as possible, I may also be able to reward you beyond the debt being paid. As for your ability to handle such things, if you have the ability to see what often goes overlooked, that is a start and a very useful tool in my trade.
Well, I do have a special kind of eyes, so I can take a look.
He then looks to Beau with those lifeless eyes of his. And if you have grace within your way of dealing with others, communing with the restless spirits is not too unlike communing with the living. I believe you have everything you need. But how will you use it?
To the best of our ability.
I've often found it's not the amount of skill that you have, it is how you use it.
Indeed. He turns over to a manila folder and brings it in front of him and pushes it across the table. And as you open it, you can see some details about a cemetery near Ybor City that has MapQuest directions of all things as to how to get there, and handwritten notes and instructions about particular gravestones and the inhabitants that have gone missing from that place. He also has the ferryman in white written and circled. This should be enough to get you started. But if you find it is lacking, do not be afraid to reach out.
We wish
Is there a number that we could contact if we need to reach out?
You may call the funeral home. And he reaches over to a small business card holder and pulls out a business card and slides it into the envelope or into the folder.
You said you did not want your family to become too concerned with this.
Correct.
Are there, don't mean to pry, but if there are local representatives that we need to avoid, that could be helpful.
There are none here that you need concern yourself with. On the peninsula, however, a few of my brethren have gathered. As long as there is no need for their attention to be drawn here, there should be no difficulties.
Good to know. Hopefully this can be a fruitful, positive relationship.
If the results are to my liking, you will see just how generous I can be. Look into it and let me know what you find, or better yet, bring me the ferryman. He then rises from the desk. Any other questions?
None from me.
Very well. He moves over to the door in an almost shuffle step, like one would do in a procession, and opens the door to the office. He then leads the two of you to the front door and opens it before saying, "I look forward to your return."
Hopefully it will be soon.
He then looks to Bethany specifically, and you can hear him take in a long inhalation of breath before bowing his head politely and closing the door behind the three of you. Are all kindred this creepy?
Not all of them.
You're getting the tour. Yeah.
Oh, we're
Go look
50% so far.
Go look at the directions. Check his watch. You got somewhere to be? I want to knock this out if we can.
I got no plans.
Okay.
I'm ready.
So, as you follow the directions, driving, I'm assuming in the same vehicle, unless you wish to drive separately. Beau brought the van. So as you climb into the van and begin driving, the city is quiet, even in Ybor, as you approach this large cemetery in Tampa. Approaching, you see that the gates are closed and that there is a chain holding the gates closed as it is after visiting hours. And there's a large padlock hanging from the chain. What do you do?
You know how to pick locks?
Not at all.
Neither do I. Does the
Go to-
fence look like
Look over to Bethany. You got a skill set?
Well, she starts fishing into her back pocket and pulls out a little leather case. She flips it open and pulls out 2 metallic pins and approaches the fence, kneeling down in front of the padlock.
I'll put my hand up and try and look to see if there's any cameras around.
Give me a wits and investigation.
Three successes.
Okay. None that are apparent, at least on the front gate of the cemetery. You can't speak to any of the other buildings nearby for sure. It's possible, but would they have a direct shot of the cemetery? Probably not. But they probably do have remote security in the cemetery itself. But you can't tell from here.
I'll put a hand on Beau's shoulder and just kind of position us so that we're blocking Bethany from any angle that we can see.
She looks kind of sheepishly at Beau and says, "Uncle's been getting locked out of the house lately. Had to pick up a few skill sets." And she turns the lock and you hear the padlock disengage, popping open. She removes it gently from the chains and carefully, rather than just letting them fall to the side, lowers them and loops them out from the gate before pulling open the gates, which make a metallic kind of as they're opened. There we go.
Well, this is what we call earning your keep, Bethany. Good to know that you've got the set.
I'm trying.
You're doing a good job.
It felt different. Like touching the lock, I could almost feel the tumblers inside moving. And I could almost hear them clicking. It was strange.
Got a little bit of the sight.
I guess.
Some things will come naturally. Some things will take effort and time to develop.
Okay. Well, we're in. Guess you take the lead from here?
He'll,
Following. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, he'll look at the list, look at the things. Curse that August isn't here. This is his fucking wheelhouse. This is his bag. And head in.
Okay. As you enter into the cemetery, you see that it is directing you to a specific section of the cemetery near the back. Almost like one of the older sections of the cemetery that probably go ignored or overlooked since it's been decades since anyone was buried there. Possibly even the better part of a century since anyone was buried there. You take the vehicles with you and drive in. What do you do?
Head to the nearest grave site that's mentioned.
Okay.
And open my third eye.
All right. Go ahead and roll for Sense the Unseen.
I surge the blood. And I do not get hungrier for it. I'll go ahead and 8 successes with a critical.
Okay. As you peer to the other side, so to speak, as you look for things often undetected, the strangest thing happens. That vacancy that he was talking about becomes all the more apparent. Because anytime you're in a cemetery, you get that feeling. Maybe it's your own like anxiety or paranoia or the weirdness of being around the dead. You don't get that now. You just get nothing. And as you look to the unseen, you can see why. There's no one here. Now, Jeremiah, I'll ask you, have you ever tested your sight in cemeteries before?
Nope.
Yeah.
The only thing Jeremiah's ever done in the cemetery is make out.
Well, that feeling you got of like sneaking into a cemetery and the kind of like macabre of it all, it's not there. There's just nothing. No spirits drifting amongst the tombstones, no vibes coming off of certain graves. Just nothing. In the back corner of the cemetery where you've been directed, you can see that many of the old gravestones are of rough-hewn stone, shaped out, but looks like they had to be chiseled out by hand. That very few machines were used in the processing of these, and the markers have faded so much that you could barely make out some of the names or dates on them. But several of them look from the late 1800s, maybe early 1900s. Roll me a wits and investigation, both of you.
Seven with a crit.
Okay. Jeremiah, as you're looking around, trying to find something, anything, using both your sense of the unseen and of not, you notice a very peculiar detail. Some of these graves have been disturbed, turned over recently. The dirt looking fresh, the grass having been removed from the top. They've been dug up. But as to for what or when, can't tell at the moment. You would have to do further searching to see. But it looks like it was very discreetly done so as not to be apparent to everybody else around it. Maybe even they took up the sod and then replaced it afterwards so that it doesn't look like the earth was, the dirt was brought up.
You'll point it out to Beau and Bethany and say, well, in for a penny, in for a pound, and I will shove his hand into the earth and use premonition.
Okay. Go ahead and roll, I believe it's resolve in aspects.
Mm-hmm. I will surge again. Not getting hungrier. Gotta love it.
Just hanging in there.
Yep. Three successes.
As you dig your hand into the earth, you feel it sink further in. Not pulled, but sink because the resistance has changed. You see that the ground, sturdy and firm, made of dirt and sand and stone and earth, ripples as if becoming a watery surface, like that of a river or a lake. As you look up, you see the ripples go across the cemetery until they stop at what looks to be an opposite bank. As you glimpse to the other bank, you see a woman dressed in spectral black, draping her form. Her skin is almost translucent, but she looks like she's wearing a late 19th century bereavement gown. She has in her hands clasped a bouquet of dead flowers that she holds on to. And she has a look of terror on her face. She reaches out a hand to you, almost trying to reach for you, But as you reach, her hand just gets further and further away, as if the bank is getting further and further away. And then the premonition ends. You do find that the ground that you dug your hand into was loose due to the recent digging up that's happened. Anybody got a shovel? Bethany says.
No.
Oh. How loose does it feel, Jeremiah?
There's something. I don't know. Jeremiah's gonna go into his wallet, pull it out, and go into one of the folds there, and he's gonna pull out a pair of silver dollars that his grandpa gave to him when he was 10. They've been in there for years, untouched, unmoved. We kind of have to like pull them out from the leather. And he's going to go to the gravestone and put them side by side on the gravestone.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Say, Beau?
Hmm.
Talk pretty to the ghosts.
Anything in particular? I should say I can't say I've dealt with ghosts before.
You know any spooky songs?
I know a few. And
I'm
Beau.
pulling shit out of my ass here, man. I don't know.
Beau will take a second and start singing a song titled Old Time Religion.
Okay. Give me a charisma and performance. Unfortunately,
stunning
beauty
them
and awe will not help you now.
Oh, okay.
You are not appealing to the living who would care about such things.
And can I add my specialty in singing?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Got 5 successes.
Okay. As you sing out your melodic tones, beautiful, a little bit huskier than you're used to before. That's going to take some getting used to. Possibly one of the effects of the change. You sing, and it seems like it's the only real source of life here, because even you, both, all three of you, are dead. For all intents and purposes, you may be walking, you may be talking, you may be moving, but your life is over. But the song itself seems to have a life to it. And as you sing, a woman appears, dressed in a long black gown, a bereavement gown. Her hair is done back in a bun, but there are loose strands hanging down on either side. And when she speaks with an accent that sounds maybe Spanish, Cuban, possibly. You can see that her face is one of fear. The white boat. He takes us across. He shouldn't exist. The white boat. The white boat. And suddenly, a spectral hook tears through her torso and drags her away into darkness. And this is where our story comes to a close this evening, but not without one last scene. Our final scene takes us to a dark concrete room. A heavy iron door with a turn wheel on it keeps anything from getting in or getting out. As we move past the door, as opposed to the outside, the dark concrete room, this one is brightly lit. And you can see why, because there are several shop lamps and lanterns and anything that can do away with any shadow in the room. This is Valentina's cell. Our attention, however, is drawn to a very shallow, rasping wheeze. We look over to the makeshift bed that has been created, where we see a very old woman laid out upon the bed. Her face has wrinkled dramatically. Her hair has started to gray from the color it once was. Her eyes are half lidded as she wheezes through the rapid aging that has befallen her and will likely be her demise. We hear her take one last breath in, but then it catches and slowly sighs out as her eyes on her 98-year-old form close. Valentina Ramos, although was that even her real name, passes away, having lived many lives with many memories, and not all of them her own. This is where our story comes to a close. Thank you so much to these amazing players. Thank you to everybody watching at home. Go follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media you see listed down below. Come join our community by following that Discord link, and go sign up for the Ko-fi to help support this channel, this program, and this community. We really appreciate it. It gives you access to all kinds of behind the scenes, like the Rosebud Thorns for this very session, which I think is going to have possibly a funereal quality to it. We'll see, but we'll get into all of that if you're on the Ko-fi. So thank you so much for watching. Go tune into Rage Across Tampa this week, to Hellhounds, and we'll be back next week with another episode of Red Tide Rising, where we find out just what happened in that crazy cemetery. For these amazing players, I'm Kent. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.